we landed on the Friday. Saturday's day 1. So this is, yeah, I guess it is day 8, isn't it? Day 8. Today is the Michael Kenna event. It's very noisy here. I'll just bring my face closer to the cam. It's the Michael Kenna event. It's on starting from about 1 p.m. till at 6:20 I get a chance to actually interview Michael Kenna, so I'm pretty excited about that opportunity. You want to say anything, Ryan?
No.
Insightful. Insightful. So yeah, I think we just kind of want to just off to breakfast again in our regular Cafe de Corral. I think we're just gonna try our best to not be too stressed out, eh, Ryan?
No,
not
good.
We gotta kind of, I mean, we've been doing this all week, so we got our stride, so we should be all right. We just have breakfast, rest, and then off to Admiralty.
Nice.
Darkness. Breakfast of champions, right?
Yes.
Breakfast. What do you got there? You got instant noodle with beef thingy,
Yep.
lai cha, chicken steak, and
pork.
toast.
Yeah.
Pork?
I think it's pork this
Oh,
time.
really?
Yeah.
Mine is some weird oxtail noodle soup thingy. They actually gave me the wrong bread.
Oh,
But
yeah,
actually,
it's round.
I actually like.
I've actually never had this bread.
I prefer toast versus that weird bun thing.
Yeah.
I think they make that bun thing so special, but it's too puffy. But anyways, time to eat and rest. Oh, look at my hair. Hair's so goofy. All right, so we are here at Admiralty. If you're gonna shoot me, I'm gonna shoot you.
Oh.
So we're here in Admiralty, the conference center here, and just doing, preparing for the Michael Kenna event. So it's quite a bit of space. People are just starting to come in here. Getting excited. I just saw Michael just for a second. I think maybe he was just off to get lunch or something like that. But we're just gonna go to the front area. This is the main reception spot. So as people come in, they'll come in and register down this way here. And so this is the venue here, right over there. And so when he comes in, we are probably going to, the book signing area is just in behind me here. So this is where we're doing the book signing, and then this is probably where we're gonna do the interview. So he wants to do the interview after the event, not before the event. He wants to save his energy for the event itself, which makes sense. So we'll see how much energy he has left, or if he has any juice left, but I'm gonna just squeeze as much juice out of him as I can. So yeah, let's see what happens. And as well, if you remember when we were at Quarry Bay, we had Raymond with us, and so so Hasselblad is set up here for the event as well. So because as you know, Michael Kenna is a Hasselblad film photographer, so it's great to have Shiro representing Hasselblad here. So yeah, let's just wait for Michael to arrive and for the guests to arrive and for the presentation to begin.
Hello, I'm Michael Kenna. Can you all hear? Yeah. Back there? All right. Good to be here. I'm going to talk for maybe a few hours. Maybe. I don't come with any notes or anything written down, so sometimes it goes a little bit longer, sometimes it goes a little bit shorter. This reminds me of Hokusai's wave in Japan, but I didn't know about Hokusai at the time. This is in 1981. It's a beautiful wave. It's if you go back to Scarborough, it's still sitting there waiting for you. But it was one of those wonderfully windy days where you could see the wave would hit the wall and come off. Again, I'm photographing film, so I used a whole roll of film. 11 frames were out of focus because it was going too fast, or I missed it, and there was a bicycle in the way. And one was this wonderful shape where it's all the kinetic motion had turned into potential energy. It just stood there like a mountain almost. It's very, very beautiful. And it's part of a photographer to have good fortune, to be kind of be prepared, to work hard, yes, but have a lot of good fortune. It's very, very important. I found along the way that I really didn't like a lot of what I saw in front of me. I didn't want to make copies of everything that was there. And one of the ways that I could change that was by doing long exposure, which I've been doing now for years and years and years. And I say that when I talk about this image. Here's the typical Kenna image. It's basically a pineapple. It invites you to go out alone and be in that space. And just be. Reality is not how I want it to be at times. So if I give you the background, this is a Saturday afternoon. It's in the north of England. It's freezing cold. This is a boating pond. There's rubbish everywhere. Football fans have just gotten out. There's a bus shelter. They're breaking bottles. There's this kind of nasty atmosphere. But as a photographer, we have the ability to make our own realities in a sense, to change what is in front of us into how we want it to be. I often talk of photographer having a conversation with the subject matter. And that conversation can go which way you want it to go. You don't need to be led by the subject matter. You can have an equal dynamic with that subject matter. There's something, I don't know if people are more gullible with black and white because they don't see in black and white, or it's just more believing, but there is something that's just more interesting for me in black and white than there is in color. Yes?
Anything you recommend to encourage an aspiring 9-year-old in photography?
Yeah, take lots of pictures.
Buy a Hasselblad.
Yeah, take lots of pictures. It's very important. Photograph all the time. It's very, very good. Yeah. Just don't give up. It's easy to get discouraged, but just keep taking photographs. Very good.
Okay, we have time for last question. Anybody?
Michael, how did you come to the decision to print at this size? And do you ever feel tempted to make bigger prints?
Well, I think I mentioned that I like the intimate engagement of print. So, normally we see 35 degrees. That's just the way our eyes are built in focus. Anything over here is out of focus. That's out of focus. So, at this size, I know you go 10 inches to see that print. And that is a very intimate engagement. It's closer than you get to most people unless you're very, very close to them. So I like that. I like the preciousness of it. At the same time, I have experimented with bigger prints. For the most part, I haven't liked them at all. For us, when I first moved into 2 1/4, I made bigger prints, and I ripped most of them up again. They just didn't feel quite right. I do understand that some images can work small, big, and huge. But there's only so much of me. I can't spend all my time in the darkroom saying, well, should this be 8 by 10, 11 by 14, 16, 20, 20, 24, I print everything myself, so I have to put certain limits. So in the past, I've always said, since I started doing editions in 1980, I said, okay, 45 is the absolute limit, and I'll make them this size, essentially. And then I've experimented, but I've always gone back to that. Recently, I said, at my age, I'm not going to print 45 of everything, so I'm going to make editions now of 25. And this has only been decided in the last few months, in fact. And I will give myself the option, if I want, of making 4 16 by 20s. There's some images I know actually work very nicely, large. Most, for me, I still prefer this size.
The Michael Kenna event is now finished, and as you can see, behind here, there's quite a long lineup for people to have their books signed by Michael Kenna, and of course everyone probably wants to have a little bit of a conversation. It was a fantastic, it's 4:30 now, the event started around 1:15, so it's been about 3 hours, and fantastic talk. I purposely did my best not to have preset questions to ask Michael, because I knew that as he talks, my impression of him through Wikipedia and other people's commentary of his pictures would evolve and change over time. And a lot of the interviews that there were on Michael Kenna were 10, 15 years old, and so obviously he's changed as a photographer, and his viewpoint of the world and even his own work would have changed. But as well, whatever he talked about, I knew sort of the direction to take the talk. So I'm going to really try my best to associate or relate what he does, so people think he's a film photographer and he's a landscape photographer, and that his pictures can't relate to maybe with the people that typically follow my channel, which a lot of Fujifilm and Leica photographers, and a lot of them are street photographers. So you think landscape, street, what do they have in common? And so I'm going to try my best to have those of us that aren't landscape photographers, not necessarily to want to become one, but how Michael's approach and his philosophy to photography can relate to not only photographers or street photographers, but really to any artistic pursuit. If you're a writer, if you're a poet, if you're a musician, because when the more and more creatives you meet over time, you realize that the advice that they have can transcend the actual physical art form that they pursue. So Michael Kenna just happened to be a photographer. He could have been a painter, he could have been a leathersmith, he could have been a fashion designer, whatever the case may be. So I'm really excited to be able to get the most out of Michael and see how he can help us as photographers. You're looking there, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
Joseph,
Yes.
how do you feel after this talk?
Inspiring.
Yeah, for sure. He is. It doesn't matter what style of. Do you notice that when you meet and you listen to a great artist, a creative,
Yes.
it doesn't matter if he's a musician, if he's a philosopher, if he's a painter. His message is still very clear about how he wants us to interpret what he's doing, and also he's not telling us how to view pictures or telling us how to take pictures, but he's trying to relate to us his journey.
Yes. It's almost over 40 years of his journey, and he you can see how different of his picture, because his picture is let us see something that we hardly to see, because he used a very long exposure.
Yes.
And he can capture the moment that we normally can't see, unlike the street photography.
Yes.
They share the same beauty, because you see street photography is captured for a moment. It's very short, 1 second or 2 seconds. But Michael Kenna showed us the like the bathing. I mean the respiration of the natural. Natural world.
Yeah.
It's really good.
It's different because for me, I think many photographers, we start off doing landscape, and maybe for me, I became bored of it. And then you move on to other things, people, street photography, and so I was interested in sort of seeing how he can inspire me. Even though I might necessarily pursue 10-hour exposures, I'll still do my 1/30th of a second. You said you like even an 1/8 of a second.
Yes.
But still, it's a fraction compared to what Michael Kenna does, and yet I'm still so excited to go out and take pictures again.
Yeah, you can see his works is really zen. Meaning it makes you so peaceful and quiet. And you can see they got something philosophy behind his works, right? It's really he showed us how beauty of the world is.
Yes. Very good. Excellent. So I can't wait. We're gonna wait for this lineup to subside a little bit, and then we can then later on have a good conversation with him. But man, I think we're gonna have to wait another hour at least, I think. All right. So anyways, over and out, and hope he doesn't run out of ink.
Yes.
All right, I'm here at the event, and I was trying to see Rupert from the
RGS.
RGS, which
Royal
stands for
Geographical Society
in
Hong Kong.
In Hong Kong, but he took off as soon as I arrived. Was he running
on
away?
holiday, yeah, he's
on
got
holiday?
on
Okay.
holiday. But I'm on the board of the RGS. I'm
Excellent.
Jacqueline Furness. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well,
Yeah.
Jacqueline. And we were talking a little bit about what you do and your business. Can you explain that just very quickly?
Sure. Aside from being on the board of the Royal Geographical Society, I am the founder and owner of a company called WiderHall here in Hong Kong. And we do fine art photographic printing, mounting, and framing of images. We also provide a lot of advisory services, helping people who love taking photographs make the photographs real.
Yes.
And we work with everyone from famous artists, where we handle all of their
You named
Asia sales.
a few of them before.
Well, we
different
work with
groups you
Michael
work with.
Hopping Gallery, Atlas Gallery, Hackleberry, all of those in London. We've done a lot of work with galleries in Australia, M Contemporary. We've sent things to the Sydney Museum of Contemporary Art.
Wow.
And yeah, we work with Korean artists, and we will work with those people, but we work with individuals who love to see their work printed well and who want some advice, and young photographers. I love encouraging young guys.
Yeah. And especially for them, they're not used to printing. And maybe when people think printing services, they think like Staples or something, where that's the only exposure they have to a physical print
Or
format.
they just think of kind of a cheap and cheerful lab style, which is really not going to present your work in the best way.
It's
You
fine for
need-
proofing, but if you want to display it
Yeah.
and you want to display it correctly,
The old commercial lab model was the way you did things for advertising or editorial. But now there's so many beautiful papers, and there's so much wonderful advice you can get on editioning and pricing. We try to provide all of that.
excellent.
Yeah.
So this is just a quick. Well, I just turned the camera on because as Jacqueline was speaking, I'm like, I have to get this on film. But hopefully we'll try to
love to.
visit you at your office, and
Yeah.
we'll continue this conversation. Because
That would be great.
You mentioned a few things about doing things in Rochester. Sort of your science background.
Yeah, my science background.
And I'm finding out more and more
My nerd,
photographers.
my secret nerd.
No, but that's my followers are all nerds.
Yeah.
So they'll
Nerds
love.
rule.
Of course, we rule the world, right? So I think you'll be a great person to talk to on the final end of the production part of photography.
Love
so
to.
people think about gear,
Yeah.
then think about everything else,
Yeah.
and then the final end they go and cheap out, or they just don't know where to
Yeah.
go.
If you care about the taking, you need to care about the making.
Yeah.
That's
Look
really,
at that. That should be on your business
that's-
card. Do you get?
All right, I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
So
as a suggestion.
so hopefully we will meet and then talk more.
Fantastic.
All right, so we'll talk to you. All right, Michael Kenna is kind of coming to the last few people, but sorry, I don't even know your name. What your name? Francis.
Yes.
Francis, you are a Michael Kenna fan.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, and you were showing me your pictures. I can't show you because actually, maybe put it to the screen. Let's just see if we can see it. See, can you see it on that? Beautiful, beautiful. So you like landscape photography?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's my first love.
It's
All
your
of
first
that.
love, yeah?
All of that, yeah.
And I won't even ask you what type of camera you shoot with, because to me, it doesn't matter. Michael Kenna could be shooting film, digital.
Yeah.
You saw some of the digital work he did, beautiful.
Yeah.
He just personally says he prefers film.
Yep.
And I think that that's a beautiful way of not dividing the photo community, film versus digital.
Yeah.
It's all visual storytelling.
I agree.
Yeah.
I do both.
Oh, yeah.
I do both black and white film and also
And digital.
Yeah.
Because there's a convenience. I mean, you're showing me on a digital device.
And I can't bring a film. and
Yeah,
show
yeah,
you.
exactly.
Print and show you
Yeah.
my portfolio.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Have you already had a chance to talk to Michael a little
A
bit?
little bit. I'm
yeah.
trying to have a chat with him.
Have them, yeah. I think we're all gonna have to fight because I have my camera set up too. So thank you for coming to the event,
Sure, thanks.
and then we'll fight over who gets to talk to Michael. So
Thanks.
thanks for talking.
Thanks.
I just finished my interview with Michael Kenna. It went well, I hope. Michael's a fantastic speaker and an ambassador for the visual arts, not just for photography, but you'll see in my interview how fantastic he was. And also the team, I think they're gonna run away from me, but I have the MonogramAsia team behind me. I won't interview them because they don't wish to be interviewed, but they're silent partners, but I want to thank them for inviting me and Ryan to come to shoot this event. But one day, I will speak with these two. Helicopter, yes. We'll helicopter them in, and maybe either in Jakarta, in Malaysia, Singapore, Bangkok, and you'll see me with other photographers, and we'll be able to interview them, and as well as these two fine fellows. So I think I'm gonna go out for dinner now. See, you guys like being on camera. Look at these guys. So anyways, I think that's it for my day.